Blue Stockings Cooperative will be closing as of today. The current former worker owners and staff, part of the sunsetting crew, are gutted to be delivering this news. After 26 plus years of serving marginalized communities as an independent feminist bookstore, event hub, and all-around radical community space, the daily operations are unfortunately no longer sustainable on multiple fronts. Okay, that had 7,000 likes, with 1,000 likes in the comments. From a current worker steward who is one of 3 people keeping the shop going for the last year. Deaf, not an owner, because the legal owners flexed their violent legal force by making this decision with no input from 3 of us that had been holding it down. A couple clarifications. This decision was not made with any of the 3 brown folks currently stewarding the space. They were notified of the sunsetting this morning, and most access was revoked. Passwords changed. They probably are working to revoke access now. The stewards have reached out through multiple avenues to see if they can legally take over the business to keep it going, and holding out hope that this bears out. The folks who decided to shut it down haven't been involved for the past year and are very unaware of all this behind-the-scenes work we've been doing to get it in a sound place, including turning into a multi-stakeholder cooperative. This was an extremely violent move, and these legal owners are casting it as a tough decision by all when that's not the case at all. Oh no. Latte commies are the cringiest. I swear to God, dude, every fucking major city has like the lefty bookstore that is a drama maelstrom nonstop. What the fuck is a multi-stakeholder co-op? It seems like in the absence of the actual owners of this property, the employees convinced themselves that they were the owners because they were the ones working there or something. A naive, like left-leaning business owner who wants to operate a lefty bookstore, staffs it with anarchist employees. You return 1 year later and they're genuinely bewildered at the idea that they don't own the place. Hi, Dave Vinay, worker owner steward here. My collective of in-store workers, all melanated POC, did not make this decision. The white folks on the lease who are former ghosts of slave owners taking down notes on new and inventive ways of being racist in the 21st century. The white folks on this lease who are former worker owners made this decision without consulting any of us. Hold the white folks attempting to act like this was a collective process accountable. This is false and white violence. We're getting locked out of our emails, the store, Instagram, the website, etc. I don't think this is a big, like, important social problem, but it is a little bit concerning how many people on the left just want a race war from the other direction. And a lot of people buy into it. Melanated POC is redundant. You know what it means? It means non-Asian. Or like non-East Asian. Or like, I don't know, non-white Latin. How is it worker owned if there's a legal owner? It's not worker owned. I think these people legitimately convince themselves that they own the place because they work there. Worker owner steward here. I'm surprised they didn't do the YT white thing. I still read YouTube whenever I see that. Did the actual post ever say it was a co-op? It's not a co-op. Or at least if it is, these people are not actually worker owners. Same here, Unks Unite, yeah. Didn't they say it was a co-op? Perfect example of the United Left. I don't know, it's just pretty funny. So they're like squatters. I guarantee you these people do not have the money to buy the property. I really do not understand the folks thing. Folks was already gender neutral. I don't know why the X was added. It clearly wasn't legally a co-op if they could just shut it down like that. Well, a business can be a co-op without every single person there having the managerial authority to decide to shut it down. But listen to the language here, man. From a current worker-steward, who was one of the 3 people keeping the shop going for the last year, definitely not an owner because the legal owners flexed their violent legal force by making this decision. So this guy worked here and he's mad that the people who actually owned it no longer find it profitable and are shutting it down. What's a steward? It's their, I guess that's the term they've come up with to feel like more than just workers or like employees or whatever. I know a co-op cafe surviving on GoFundMe. It's stupid. Oh God, that's awful. It was open for 26 years though? Yeah, now COVID happened. I guess it's not profitable anymore. I mean, that is bad. No, these people did lose their jobs. Yeah, but they're also so unserious that I feel like they kind of deserve to. I don't know. Come on, it's embarrassing. A cooperative is a legal entity in America, Masaigo. It's just difficult to set one up because our laws kind of privilege standard ownership for a variety of reasons. If you ever use the term melanated POC, you should be put in the device. True. Not legally binding, but it does say worker on the website. Yeah, but that doesn't mean every employee gets to decide whether or not the store stays open. Not to say the owners aren't like just as deep in the sauce as the people working there. Again, every big city has their own lefty bookstore that is just a shit pot of drama nonstop. Like the people there are super super rude, or they run like an effective polycule from the employees, and it's all fucking weird. It's difficult to run any kind of business that is strictly ideologically oriented, but is also meant to serve as a community space. Like, imagine how weird it would be if there was like an explicitly fascist bookstore, you know? Can you imagine the kind of people who would work there, or what the dynamics would be? It's not just because they're fascist. It's like all the weirdness that comes along with having an ideological prerequisite for working at a place like a bookstore. I should have stopped by this place when I was in New York. Collectively run activist center, community space, and feminist bookstore that offers mutual aid, harm reduction support, non-judgmental research, and a warming/cooling place that is radically inclusive of all genders, cultures, expansive sexualities, and identities. Our space has existed on the Lower East Side for over 21 years, a model for integrating direct programming grounded in the community with sustainable labor practices. Oh my god. It's corpo slop. It's corpo slop, but left-coded. It's the same. Yeah, it's buzzword soap. Political education. Historically, we've served as a sanctuary for NYC's overlapping queer communities and evolved from a woman's bookstore that was volunteer-powered to become a horizontalist feminist community center whose work is rooted in care and mutuality and is now cooperatively work-around. Well, I guess not. Blue Stocking seeks to empower all people to challenge oppression and participate in creating a society which is equitable, cooperative, and free by distributing literature and resources about oppression, intersectionality, community organizing, and activism, and by sharing the stories of marginalized people. Maintaining a space in New York City for dialogue, education, reflection, where all people are respected, and building connections, knowledge, and skills in our community. How do you guys make money? Building connections, knowledge, and skills in our community's bookstockings cooperative seek to embody and share the principles of intersectionalist, abolitionist, trans-affirming, gender non-conforming, and sex worker-affirming feminisms, and support liberatory social movements. Jesus Christ. Probably selling drugs. Blue Stocking strives to empower worker owners through non-hierarchy, cooperation, and consensus-based decision-making, providing an example of the society we're working towards. Do they sell books? I don't fucking know. Do they? Do they? Curious what a proper socialist version of this would be. There is no socialist version of a bookstore because socialism isn't a strategy for running a business. It's a macroeconomic system. You can run a worker cooperative bookstore, but there's no such thing as a socialist bookstore, except, I guess, a bookstore that primarily deals in socialist literature, which is more of a content thing than a style thing. You should run a bookstore. If you're a leftist and you want to run a bookstore, you should run the bookstore as a bookstore. You sell books, ideally. Not an easy business to get into these days, mind you. What is a worker cooperative? We believe that people directly facilitating the work the space should be in control of all decision-making, profit redistribution, community outreach/interest, and day-to-day operations. We believe the greatest stopgap while we're still surviving under late-stage capitalism is to bolster cooperative working formations in which the workers make the decisions about all conditions and intention of the business. Jesus Christ, this is insufferable. By removing the hierarchical strata of bosses and managers, workers are able to self-determine and assess growth, setbacks, and needs authentically. This is what our cooperative model encourages. More readings and resources on worker cooperatives. I love to go to a bookstore to maybe get some cool books on a subject I'm interested in and check out their website. And it's giving me like reading lists to describe the way they operate their business. How can I support Blue Stockings? We would not be able to realize the dream that is Blue Stockings and a worker-owned cooperative model without the support of our monthly members. Oh my god. It's a GoFundMe bookstore. How do you pay the rent in fucking Manhattan? Aren't they in Manhattan? Yeah, Lower East Side. Oh my god. Like and subscribe. At the All-Star tier of $100 a month, one of the many perks you have is your name listed on our website. How should they set it up, lol? As a bookstore, where you sell books. I have an idea. What if we make a co-op that's profitable? I have an idea. What if we make a leftist business that... Operates as a business. Oh, man. They're selling themselves as a co-op more than they're actually selling actual books. Yeah, that's kind of the bit, right? Like they're not really like offering people anything besides the feeling that they're participating and sustaining something that's socially critical. But it's all buzzword salad. I'm very cynical about stuff like this, you know? Which I think my cynicism is kind of warranted if the people who are working there act like this, you know? Not all melanated POC. Is it just me, or do a lot of lefties seem to confuse capitalism for just the nature of business? I mean, a lot of people on the left genuinely seem to think that the issue with capitalism is the profitability of a business. Like, under socialism, you would still need to run a, I mean, I guess profitable. It depends on like where you are in the system, I suppose. But let me put it this way, okay? Manhattan will not be 100,000 leftist commune bookstores that produce nothing and attract no one under socialism, you know? Even if money is abolished, we are not going to waste the physical space in the finite world on an infinite number of do-nothing businesses nobody cares about. There will always be some kind of system for prioritizing what is kept, and even if there is no money, that will be, that will excise stuff that is not popular. Kind of sucks the things that we believe mainly seem to attract people who just hate functionality. Yeah, it's kind of like those anti-work people on Reddit, remember? When people were like, there's a building social movement of people who are fed up with the system and refuse to work within it. And then it turns out and then that one anti-work mod did an interview on Fox News, and it turns out that he just was lazy and fucking needed to get a job. Yeah, it turns out that like you can't actually orient your socialism around the desire to have matchas at your local cafe and not work, you know? It's a little more to it than that. As Lenin would say, get a job. Isn't that what the robots are for? Lol. It's such a red flag to me when a person is like, work is useless. The machine should take care of it. Like, what are you doing with your day? Oh, you want to play video games all day? That's great. You must have a very fulfilling life. Man, I'm sorry. There's no getting around the fact that the Earth revolves around humans and human social interactions. There's always going to be stuff to do. There's always going to be working errands and cleaning dishes and doing laundry and blah, 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 you know? We should make that system more fair. I'm a little bit distrustful when people's ideological motivations towards socialism seem to stem primarily from laziness and, like, in-group bias, you know? Says the guy streaming games for a living. Ah, low IQ response. Appeal to hypocrisy. Oh, the truth. It burns. The light. Ah, ew, but the man holding the flashlight is a streamer. You're not ad humming your way out of this one. Do your fucking dishes. When was the last time you vacuumed? I bet there's a bunch of crap in your carpets you don't even know about. Clean your room, bucko. Okay, hold on. Shop books. Yeah, we gay. Oh, we do have books here. That's good. Graphic novels. You got the classics? What do we got? I see furry shit. I don't follow the indie scene. I'm just looking for Watchmen. Some of these look pretty cool. I don't know. Some of these I see people post about in fucking Twitter. Just put the yaoi in the bag. And like the transgender shit, you know? The guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. That's Yuri shit. Okay, I mean, you know, it's unfortunate, you know. You gotta events, zines, gift cards, memberships, staff picks, kitten. Owl, they, them, is our piece, a professional spiritualist, writer, and artist who identifies as a GNC queer black indigenous person. All right, I'm not trying to engage in any direct harassment here. Are they a cat? Oh my god, none of the people working here is a fucking guy. God damn it. I probably could have called that. Not a single person here is a guy. It's all she, hers, and they, thems. Racist? Yeah, against guys. No man works at any bookstore. That's not true. That reminds me of this post I saw. How, like, only one of the 14 people who were running the Kamala Harris HQ account during the campaign were straight men. Which is kind of wild because straight men constitute, like, 45% of the population of every country on Earth, give or take, more or less, you know, hand wave. Books are for lesbians. I don't disagree, but we can work to change that, okay? Among my friends, the sort of women J.D. Vance likes to mock as miserable losers, the male loneliness crisis became a bitter joke. We discussed possible cures. Becoming a deadhead, getting into cycling, poker nights. We made approving comments when we saw straight guys doing things together, like the time a group of dads showed up at somebody's Pilates class. There were movies and TV shows about the problems of contemporary manhood, some concerned, adolescence, some satirical, friendship. Mark Zuckerberg, whose male-to-male transition included bulking up, putting on an XL t-shirt and a gold chain, and becoming a fan of UFC, told Joe Rogan the corporate world is culturally neutered and needs more masculine energy. His proposed AI friends is one solution. Of course he would. The male-to-male transition one is a banger. Yeah, that's pretty good. No men involved in running a business. It falls apart in a mess of gossip and drama. What do they mean by this? That's fucking facts, brother. Sorry, we just spawned like 3 more Reddit threads with that one. Sorry, everyone. Sorry for the fuss. So edgy. Yeah, I'm really pushing the limit with that one, aren't I? Really fucking... That's about the farthest you can go these days before getting canceled. It's stupid.